welcome to another edition of our live Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studios. Thanks for watching our shows. Appreciate all of you on Comcast 7 that can watch it in Bethel Park. Great feedback that I got from you, and nice seeing you out there in the public. Keep on watching. And Verizon 32 is also in Bethel Park and everywhere else, from Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford. A lot of great feedback from the people out there. Our Facebook, we were at 6,400. We dropped down to 6,397. So we got to boost that back up. We hit a high of 6,401. So we're just hanging around there. We appreciate all the likes. Thanks for watching all of our shows and then liking us on our Facebook page. Appreciate it. The other day I saw 6,000 people on one day. The next day I saw 22,000 come to the site checking out the different things that I post in our TV show. So thanks a lot. I want to thank our sponsor, Olive Oil's Pizzeria, for providing us with a pizza and a hoagie. And we take care of that. Appreciate it. It's right at Hillcrest Shopping Center, 412-831-1900. Give them a call. Tell them the Talking Machine sent you there to get something. They got deals on everything. You name it, they got it. So check it out. Good food there. We start our show off with What's on Your Mind. And we have some new software that Dave Cable's instituted on this. So we have commercials tonight again. We have different segments that we'll break down. And we're going to start the first one with What's on Your Mind? Smoking Jim Frazier.
Thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. And if you want the green, you got this, C. Levine. That's nice and cold.
I'll keep it in the trunk. That's part of my inventory. You know how that goes.
That's called cold hard cash.
But, I like that. But what's on my mind is the Pittsburgh Sportsline Player of the Week.
We're back to that again.
Back to that again. We're going.
Folks, you got to watch Smoking Jim Frazier right now.
Got to go up in the Newcastle area for a high school called Laurel, and have a white guy, 6'3", 185
There you
pounds.
go again. You started first thing on this show. We got black and white tonight.
Mason Mraz, and
How do you spell that?
I'm not sure I'm pronouncing the last name right.
I know. I'm
M-R-A-Z. And may want to ask Devin for a little help with this. To plug that in, but he set a school record. He set a school record when he scored a career high 48 points.
Oh, we're in the basketball.
In a 93-33 win over Northgate. And he sat out the entire fourth quarter. And his favorite.
Then how did he make Player of the Week?
Player to 48 points.
Yeah, but you throw guys right off the list.
And his favorite player is Michael Jordan. And that's what's on my mind.
Wow. Thanks, Smoking Jim. Very informative.
What would I do without my main man, Devin Shea?
Thanks, Devin. We appreciate the camera work. Chip Hayner, what's on your mind?
Thank you, Alan. And I'd like to start off the evening with some breaking news. The Police Review Board will drop the investigation of Joey Porter's arrest. Director says video supports the cop's story. Now, what that has to do about anything is beyond me, but I just thought I'd share some breaking news.
Hey, thank you very much for the breaking news. Let's hear what's on your mind now.
Okay, what's on my mind? Obviously, like the rest of Steeler Nation, very disappointed Sunday night in the egg that the Steelers laid in Foxborough. Very proud of the Steelers and what they accomplished this year, starting out the year 4-5. Looked like they were going nowhere fast. Stacked 9 wins in a row. Pretty amazing accomplishment. They came up just a bit short in Foxborough, but they're not the only team that's done that. The Patriots, the unfortunate part of this, and I'm going to say this without cringing, is that Sunday night the Patriots were the better team. Tom Brady was the better quarterback, and Bill Belichick was the better coach. And I hope the Steelers learn from their experience there in Foxborough. and rededicate themselves this winter and come back with all guns blazing next year, including a certain quarterback, number 7, who alluded to potentially not coming back. I think this is just an attention-getting grab, but I'm sure Ben will be behind the quarterback, behind the center next fall when football season starts. So we're not going to waste a bunch of time talking about
I got to
that.
tell you, $19 million. That's what he gets next year.
Yeah.
I don't think that those aches and pains will be there when it comes to the OTAs and the other things there. And, hey, doesn't Le'Veon Bell, if he gets that contract here, he's one of the best backs in the league. And Antonio Brown, and despite his shenanigans, is going to get a contract.
I want to clarify a point for him, because this has been on my mind since I heard about all of these different things that happened before the game, after the game, during the game, and everything. And everybody says that, Ezekiel Elliott was the best running back in the football, for the Dallas Cowboys this year. He did have an amazing season, and Jim is partial to David Johnson over there in the Arizona running backfield. But I will say, I believe that Le'Veon Bell has achieved the best one-legged running back status in the NFL. And I'd like to make sure that we make note of that.
Sure.
Because apparently he's been playing on one leg and set a Steelers playoff record for most rushing yards in a postseason. But, proud of my Steelers, disappointed in the way things fell on Sunday, and I am now flying high with the Falcons. Go Falcons. That's what's on my mind.
Hey, one little stat. I know you're a stat man, trivia guy. The Falcons have never, ever beaten Tom Brady. This could be a first.
Well, you know what? Matt Ryan did beat Tom Brady this year because he's wearing the MVP crown, so it might be the season for it.
I don't think that's official yet, though.
Yes, it is.
Is it official?
Yeah.
When did it come up? I missed it.
2 weeks ago.
No way.
Yes.
Get on.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was official.
Well, it's the NFL MVP award. He was voted by, he came in.
Well, Brady had a
came in
shortened
second.
season. He was 4 games short.
Well, Brady did have an amazing season. And,
He was 4 short. You got to play the 16.
Yeah, that's why he came in second.
There you go. All right. Thanks, Chip. Appreciate it. What's on my mind was the Steeler game. I had to bury it because I was so disappointed. I knew the outcome at the end of the first quarter. Haley, I've never been a fan of Haley's. A couple of his calls were questionable. But then my dad used to tell me about sports because we're from a sports family. He'd say, I don't care how good the coaches are. Lombardi had horses. All these guys had good horses. Well, what happened to our horses is what I was thinking through the game. My dad's been dead 5 years. I missed calling him up and talking to him about the game or what play we saw and how they couldn't get in from a foot out. You got Pouncey, you got the Castro, and you got a 6'4", 260-pound horse quarterback that he doesn't even have to go over him. He could just follow behind him and fall down. But those are the things that I was thinking of my dad during the game because the outcome, it was just a matter of when and how many points that New England was going to score because I never saw receivers open like they were. I've seen zones play closer. I've never seen guys stunned at the beginning of the game like they were. And even Bud Dupree says they weren't ready. I'm thinking, how can you not be ready with the defense that you have? These are questions that come up during the game and now after it, hearing these statements. I think they should have just been quiet and not said a thing like that because it's outrageous.
Have you ever seen any of Belichick's players not ready to play when the ball was kicked off?
Never. I'm looking for that.
Okay.
I haven't seen it yet.
Because if they were, they wouldn't play for him much past the second snap.
Look at LeGarrette Blount there. Walked off the Steeler field and out of the Steeler history, and now he's their star running back. Unbelievable. So, I mean, hats off go to him. I'm with Chip. Go Falcons. And that's basically what's on my mind. We're going to go to different segments here. Devin Shea's in the control room. He's going to let us go to a commercial. It'll be a couple minutes. So, Chief, I know I said last week, enjoy that dessert. Chief put up Chip that he had the dessert. He was eating dessert at the time, so during one of our commercials. So you're going to have that happen again, Chief, right now. We're going to commercial. And stay tuned. We'll be back on Comcast 7 only in Bethel Park and Verizon 32. And we'll have more sports talk for you as soon as we come back. So enjoy your food and your meal. For not changing that dial. Comcast 7 only in Bethel Park and Verizon 32 everywhere, including Bethel Park. We got one of our favorite camera people here. Tessa's back on camera.
Yay!
Camera person extraordinaire.
We appreciate you coming back, adjusting that camera so we look handsome here. And we're going to talk. We're going to talk more about sports, and we have our segments here. The first one we're going to start with is Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And I tell you what, I got my Bethel Park pen, and I cherish it. Near Bethel. Yeah, near Bethel.
You're a wealth of information, Smoking Jim. Since you're giving up information, how old are you?
There you go.
29 and counting.
Well,
we'll find out in July.
17. But sad day.
That's his birthday. Friends and family and people keeping that secret. 17.
That'll be our Hall of Fame show.
Yeah.
That same night. But it's a sad day today. I don't take Big Ben's words lightly that he's contemplating retirement. You can't take it lightly. I would.
Why not?
I'd be looking to trade for Miami's backup quarterback, Matt Moore, somebody like that. Because if Barry Sanders can walk away from the game, anybody can. You don't know what's going on in Ben's personal life. He's not playing in the Pro Bowl game, so.
Smoking Jim, he has 3 children now. Do you think he wants to stay home?
Yes.
He gets paid $19 million next year.
I
think he's injured. He's tired.
He has enough money.
He couldn't even write a check for $1 million.
Why do you say that?
Because he can.
He don't have access to a checkbook.
That's what he would have to pay back.
No, he'd have to pay like $18 million next year. So I think he's going to weigh it. Just to interrupt you, I know this is your segment, but I'm weighing it. $19 million, sleep and rest up and let the wife take care of the kids? Yes.
Barry Sanders paid back $7 million. So if a man wants to walk away, I don't take it lightly. I hope he has a change of heart, but if not, just going down memory lane a little bit since Ben's retirement, I got to go back to the 2004 draft. Bill Cowher that particular year coached in a Senior Bowl game, and he coached a guy from North Carolina State by the name of Phillip Rivers.
He liked Phillip.
He loved his leadership, and on Bill Cowher's big board was number 1 quarterback was Phillip Rivers. They tried to do everything they could to move up in the draft to get him. Number 2 guy on that board was Eli Manning out of Mississippi. They figured they had no shot at him. Their number 3 rated quarterback on the board, who I had being the NFL bust, was J.P. Loftman from Tulane. Ended up going to Buffalo Bills in the first round. Only reason they didn't take him because J.P. Loftman expected to play right away. And the Steelers just needed a guy to come in and be a backup for a couple years because they had Tommy Maddox, who they were high on, and they were high on their backup quarterback, Charlie Batch. So in came Big Ben, who was a big-time junior quarterback from a small school, who they felt that could come in and sit for a couple of years and would be okay with it. And there was so much pressure on taking a quarterback because basically they had not drafted a quarterback in 34 years since they took Terry Bradshaw with the first pick in the first round in 1970. I don't count Mark Malone in
I gotta
1980.
interrupt you. That shot of you was just perfect. Of
Was
you
it?
going on your fiction and fact of Smoking Jim's Almanac.
Oh, okay.
I just was looking at the monitor, and that was a nice shot.
Oh, thanks.
You got your Bulls hat on, so I'm sensing
I'm color coordinated.
is that what that is? All right, I hope to see that shot again.
But my first conversation with Big Ben, when I called him up right after he was drafted, my first conversation with Big Ben was, what do we have to do to get Jacob Bell here? Jacob Bell was an offensive lineman, guard, tackle for Miami of Ohio. Big Ben says, I would love to get him up there with me. He's a guy that protected me for 3
And then
years
what happened?
at Miami of Ohio. Steelers didn't draft him and nobody else did. But Jacob Bell could have been a good selection.
Where's he at now?
Mid and late round. He never got an NFL tryout, but could have been a good player for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Would have been better than Ramon Foster, that's for sure. But that's my fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. Hope Ben don't retire, but great memories if he does.
Smoking Jim, usually you're outstanding in your comments and things you bring up, but Big Ben, I don't know if people know this. I'm going to whisper it. He's a drama queen. He will be back. Once he heals up, I mean, his knees hurt, his ankles hurt, his shoulders hurt. He's sore all over, plus he just lost.
And his feelings hurt.
I didn't want to go there. That drama comes out every so often. But he'll be fine, Smoking Jim.
Hopefully this Bethel Park pen will have some magic to him and
Where
make
at
him
in
come
Bethel
out
did you
of.
get a pen like that?
Yes, it's
Where?
unique.
The
Wow.
question I have is, Jacob Bell would have been a good player for the Steelers to draft, and he never got invited to a camp from 32 NFL teams. Maybe somebody knew something you didn't.
They weren't reading the the statements that he had on them. So I'm glad him and Ben had a conversation like that. He moved on for that. Let's go to Chip's trivia time right now.
Thank you, Alan. And this evening, everybody, being that the Steelers have been knocked out of the playoffs, what kind of trivia do I think deserves to be talked about? Well, the thing that comes to my mind are streaks. You may wonder, streaks. I made a comment about this last week, and Jim kind of brushed it off, but I'm going to go ahead and bring it up again. The UConn women's basketball team won their 93rd game in a row. That is an amazing record for college basketball. And that just brings to mind a bunch of other streaks in professional sports that are of some note that I thought I would bring to people's attention. I will start with the Harlem Globetrotters.
I like that.
They won 2,495 games over the Washington Generals in a row.
How's that the game where they lost?
That is a streak worth noting. In college football, Mount Union of Ohio, 55 consecutive victories. College squash, the Trinity, Connecticut College men, 252 consecutive wins.
Wow.
College soccer, again, the women, North Carolina women, 103 consecutive wins.
Wow.
In baseball, Eric Gagne, 84 consecutive saves. Pretty astonishing streak. High school football, Concord de La Salle, 151 consecutive victories.
Gateway could have beat them.
That's hearsay.
Soccer, AC Milan was unbeaten in 58 straight games.
Wow.
And then there comes the Pittsburgh Penguins with 17 consecutive wins, going 17-0 from March 9th to April 10th, 1993, before ending the regular season in a 6-6 tie with New Jersey. Mario Lemieux had 27 goals and 23 assists in the streak as Pittsburgh was compiling a league best 56-21-7 record.
What Yager do?
He carried Mario's athletic bag.
Hey, Smoking Jim, Yager's one of your favorite players. I thought you'd have some information.
Everybody, I cleaned that up for TV. Okay, so tennis and Martina Navratilova, 74 consecutive wins.
Wow.
Pro football, Jerry Rice, 274 consecutive games with a catch.
I like that.
College football, 47 straight wins for the University of Oklahoma. Spanned 5 seasons from 1953 to 1957. High school wrestling, Brandon, Florida High, 459 consecutive victories. We're going to go to the boxing ring. Julio Cesar Chavez, 87 straight victories.
I like that.
Next up, we do have the Super Bowl bound New England Patriots, 18 consecutive wins in one season. And you want to know what that accomplished them? Nothing, because they didn't win a championship that year. Thank you, New York Giants. Next in baseball, the New York Giants, 26 consecutive wins. We've got the UConn women's basketball team that had a streak of 90 wins. And besides that, the record that they have going now of 93 consecutive wins. The greatest college basketball coach in history is coaching the UConn women's basketball team. In men's basketball, in the Olympics, the U.S. men's basketball team, 63 straight wins. Wayne Gretzky, 51 consecutive games with a point. Oral Hershiser.
Say that again?
51 consecutive games with a point.
Who?
The great one,
Okay.
Wayne Gretzky.
Okay, I thought you missed
Oral
pronounce his
Hershiser
name.
performed what they considered oral surgery, 59 consecutive scoreless innings.
I like that. I like
Let's
that.
not forget about Edwin Moses. 122 straight wins in the 110-meter hurdles.
That's a black man.
Isn't that something?
How come he has to bring up color? He brought
Number
white guy
9,
up
the
first.
UCLA
Now a
men's
black man.
basketball team. The Wizard of Westwood with 88 consecutive wins. Pro football, Brett Favre, and it depends on how you want to count this, 297 consecutive regular season starts or 321 consecutive
I like
starts.
the 321.
321.
Including the playoffs.
I like the 321.
Me too.
Greatest
And
basketball.
he's a white man.
Greatest basketball team of all time, the Boston Celtics, 8 straight NBA titles. Bill Russell holding down the center. The greatest golfer to ever live, Byron Nelson, 11 consecutive victories on the PGA Tour.
And he's a white man.
And let's not forget about the Wizard of Westwood. Not only did he have 88 straight wins, he won 7 consecutive NCAA titles for the UCLA Bruins.
I like that.
I'm wrapping it up here quickly, folks. Joe DiMaggio, the unbeatable 56-game hitting streak.
Somebody can get that.
Again, we go back to baseball. Connie Mack, 50 consecutive seasons as a major league manager.
That's amazing.
Cal
Never heard of
Ripken,
it.
the Iron Man, 2,632 consecutive games played. And last but not least, a record that I am sure will never be broke, Johnny Vandermeer, 2 consecutive no-hitters. So, streaks are on my
That'll
mind.
never be broke?
And I thought I would share that with you. Streaks of note. in
You said
professional
that'll never be broken?
Let
Correct.
me put a disclaimer
2
in.
consecutive no-hitters.
Oh, come on,
Let me
man.
put a
It's
disclaimer
been done
in.
once in the history of
Chip,
baseball.
excuse me.
160 years.
Here's a disclaimer. Smoking Jim is an NFL scout, Steelers scout, model scout. You name it, he does it, but he doesn't know baseball. And he barely knows hockey except his hero, because he used to eat Kit Kats and go to strip clubs, Yammer Yager. So that'll end that discussion, Chip. You're correct, but I agree with you. Played baseball.
Happened
watched
once
a
in
lot of baseball.
160 years.
You won't live to see the next one, Smoking Jim.
Really?
We've told you this each time. You got short-term, long-term memory loss.
Don't
You
seem
know
like it's
how
that-
old you are.
Today's pitchers are lucky if they get 2 in a career, not in back-to-back games.
Plus, there's something called relief pitchers. They bring a relief pitcher in after 6 innings. So
Now, when you say back-to-back, you mean back-to-back starts?
Back-to-back starts. And you started on Tuesday through a
brought you
no-hitter.
up in baseball.
Started on Friday through another no-hitter.
That seemed possible to me.
Okay.
how many baseball games have you seen in person?
I've been
In
through
person.
3 innings. I've been through 3-4 innings of a baseball game.
I remember. That's what. If it happens again, I'll eat your hat.
It's not enough. All right, I'll go to my segment. I end each show with "Stay Joey Strong." Please support the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. I don't know, should I hold this for Tessa to pull in on it? And I'll keep talking. Donate as little as $1. They have different events and things coming up. It's been a couple years since Joey died. The bottom picture shows him with DIPG. The upper photo shows him when he was a healthy young man, and just a drastic thing. He was diagnosed with it, died within a year of his diagnosis, a month before his birthday. He died January 21st, 2 years ago. So here's the Joey to their family. Stay Joey strong. Appreciate it. And then in Bethel Park, there's the Bethel Park Community Foundation. Tessa, I'll need some of your skills on this one. If you can pull that up, I'll try to hold it straight for you. And if you have an organization, get an application online at bpcf.org. You can get from $100 to $5,000. They have funding there. We vote on it. I'm one of the trustees on the board. Dan Duff's the president. You can mention my name that I sent you there. And these guys are trying to come up with some group to help kids in Bethel Park. I don't think it's going to happen. It didn't happen last year, but I put it out there for about 5-6 months. They're interested.
We're working on a high-level meeting.
All right.
We're all in on lacrosse.
There you go.
You're not supposed to suck up to the camera person that's in here. That's not that. Just ignore that, Tessa. You're doing great. Don't work on that. Thanks for pulling that up. Appreciate it. Now I'll go to our segment on location. We did our show at Atria's last night. What a crowd we had. We had AAU basketball. Where are they from, Smoking Jim?
High rise.
High rise?
Rise high.
Okay, something like that, because I heard a couple different phrases on that. Great coach, Tony. What's her last name?
Allen.
I didn't forget that because of my name, but I like when you say that. She was a great storyteller, telling us about, she got asked to be a coach of the boys AAU, and some of the guys wouldn't shake her hand and ran into some difficulty, so we got that out. Her student athletes are fantastic. They're all around 4.0. Some are special scholarship type of guys. They handled themselves well with my questions that I asked. I did speed interviewing with them because there were about 10 of them.
Great job.
They answered the questions. They had nice smiles, and they wouldn't tell me what their grades were. Like one told me, you know, I'm not at 4.0 this semester, but I was last semester. So I said, well, I'm proud of you. Don't listen to Smoking Jim about homeschooling. Go to school. Because what happens when you're 30 years old and they're kicking you out of the NFL or NBA or something else? You're going to live another 30, 40 years. You got to have something to do. You can't just do what Smoking Jim does, get photos with sweeties and promote all this good stuff in the sports world. There's only one guy in the Pittsburgh media like that who's busy all the time. Look at that smile. Get a close-up of that smile, Tessa. Please. Look at that. And look at how color coordinated it is.
I'm colorful.
I don't know what it's about, but the Bulls are your team, I guess.
Yeah, I love them.
What's the record?
I like Chicago.
Okay. Well, you like the Cubs, but you don't have their uniform on yet, so we'll go with that. But yeah, On Location was a great show. Smoking Jim's business partner was on the show, Jody Velasquez, and her moving guide. Chip has used that and recommends it highly. Quick move guide, it helps you. Check out her book. It's been on Amazon the last, I think, 8-9 years. She's been selling it consistently. I happen to have a copy that we were able to put out on the show.
That was nice.
And then her daughter come on because Smoking Jim broke our rule about having models on since we like to talk sports. Lana was on there, answered some questions I had for her about if she played sports or liked sports. She didn't play sports. She was a cheerleader. I said, cheerleader coaches have told me that's a sport, so I'll agree with that being a sport.
Yes.
So we let her go on that, so he snuck under the wire with that, and they started the show off. Bob Jeffrey is a great Pitt fan, has a Pitt blog, and he does stuff on Facebook. He's also a big sports guy. He was on a radio show talking baseball years ago. He did that for a number of years. Just a great all-around guy, provides a lot of insights. Him and Smoking Jim got in a little argument. They were getting a little testy about some facts there. So that added some intrigue to the show. But we had a great show there. Right now, Atria's is going under some changes in management and different entertainment type of things. So we're on hold there. We won't be back there until we get some notification, maybe in the next month. But we will be at Hollywood Lanes on February 6th, the day after the Super Bowl. Come on up there. They're going to have specials going on up there. That's Jeffrey Park's Hollywood Lanes, right in the middle of downtown Dormont. So you can't miss us there. We'll be there from 7:30 to 8:30. They got bowling like you can't believe. They got stars from Pirates, Steelers, Penguins, all kind of sports guys come down there. They sign the back wall behind the lanes, and they put their autographs on there. And Jeff asked Smoking Jim and I if we wanted to see it. Then he asked if we'd sign the page. The wall. So we signed the wall there. So right in my stomping grounds of Keystone Oaks at Hollywood Lanes, got to sign it. So we had some fun. Check us out. That'll be the first week of February. We'll be doing our show. Come on out and see us. There's no fee to come and watch the show. They charge for bowling, and you get shoes included with it, and they got a couple hours special. So check it out. And that's all I have for you. We're going to go to a segment called The Steelers, and we're going to close out the Steelers season. When we come back from a commercial, it'll be a couple minutes. So Tessa, relax. Everybody else, keep doing what you're doing. Don't change that dial. Comcast 7 only in Bethel, and Verizon 32 everywhere. Welcome back. Guess what we're going to talk about now? The graphic showed you the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm still disappointed there. I don't care what the drama queen said about retiring. I'm not worried about what Smoking Jim thought about how they sucked. They truly did. The better team won. They had 9 games that they won in a row. It was quite impressive. And to not be ready for this game was quite the shock to me.
I think the lesson to be learned from Sunday night's game, and if you look at the way that the New England Patriots players were prepared to execute their game plan, and you look at the way that the Pittsburgh Steelers defense had no idea what they were doing when they first got out on the field. And that's the one lesson to be learned here, that you do have to watch hours and hours of film. And you have to know what the other team's tendencies are, and you have to expect the unexpected. And it seems like the Steelers defenders were caught flat-footed all day. The one question I have regarding the lack of performance was, what were Bud Dupree and James Harrison doing dropping back in coverage all day long?
Following orders.
They needed to put pressure on Tom Brady. You don't put pressure on Tom Brady. He will surgically take you apart, and that's what he did. Methodically dissected the Steelers' defense, and the outcome was inevitable.
Chip, there's no doubt. What I thought was odd as I'm watching the plays go on as the New England had the ball, I see 3 down linemen on our defense, and I see 3 men rushing, and I see them completing pass after pass after pass. Now, we stopped them on some running plays, but that's only going to last so long. They just do that for window dressing. It's all about the arm of Brady, and I'll tell you what, for 39 years old, Smoking Jim, I don't see him being near to retirement. Yeah. What's your thought on that? I mean, he looked like a 25-year-old tossing that ball all over the field.
Well, everybody knows I'm a professional gambler, and before the game, I thought New England would win 51-10. So I thought the Steelers actually played better than I expected.
That's a shock.
Them to play, but like I said before, that Bill Cowher had defensive coaches like Dom Capers, Jim Haslett, Marvin Lewis, and Dick LeBeau, and all Coach Tomlin got is Keith Butler. They couldn't spell cat if you spotted him to C and the T, and Todd Haley, the worst red zone coach in NFL history. And what you do with a 39-year-old quarterback is you put pressure on him. You put the fear of God in him, and you're dropping the guys
There wasn't
who
any.
can. You can see the only time he was uncomfortable is when you had the rookie Hargrave throw the offensive guard out of the way like he was Reggie White and sack Brady, and that's what you had to do. But I tell you what, man, my new favorite. You guys know I love those little white receivers, and I love those guys. Any team that has it, Dallas Cowboys got a little one too, and I'm a big fan now of his name. Horton, never heard of him before the game?
His name's Chris Hogan.
Hogan.
Yeah, if we're going to tell somebody's Hogan, know their name.
Hogan. Holy heck, I love that kid.
He's a white guy smoking.
Yeah, that's all. Well, that narrowed it down.
Well, and the Steelers' game plan was exposed for what it was. But, before we got – I can't let this go unsaid. And before we toot Bill Cowher's horn and all the great coaches that he had, okay, not a single one of them ever really amounted to anything as a head coach in the NFL. And they went to 7 championship games and they lost 6 times, okay? So let's give Cowher his due, but, Cowher's not going to be going to the Hall of Fame anytime soon.
He should be already in.
Let me add one more thing to this Cowher thing. The last year he was here, Smoking Jim has a little skit that he does. The Steelers don't want to be great. They just want to be
8-8.
Well, and that's what they were.
But you know what? The important thing to remember about that season is they went into the last game of the year, 7-8, and they had to go to overtime against the Cincinnati Bengals, where Santonio Holm caught the first pass of overtime to score the winning touchdown to end up 8-8 as the defending Super Bowl champs. So that was Bill Cowher's swan song.
How did Carolina do this year? A lot of teams, when they go, I don't think Denver made the playoffs.
That's an excuse.
No, they didn't. But that's
You're making excuses.
No, I'm just saying.
That's
wasn't that the same year that Big Ben kissed the windshield?
Isn't this
the same season?
It didn't matter.
May have been, but the point
he was in a
being,
motorcycle.
But Bill Cowher, if Bill Cowher would have had a franchise quarterback like Big Ben, so all these years we'd have about 10 or 12 championships. He's never had a franchise quarterback. How many Super Bowls did Belichick win in Cleveland?
0.
Is it Brady or is it Belichick? I think it's
They're
a combination of both. It's intertwined.
And I do agree. And I will tell you this: one thing that that Bill Belichick does demand of his players is that they be prepared for the game on Sunday. And I think Sunday was an example of the Patriots being prepared to execute their game plan, and the Steelers had no idea what they wanted to do.
And like I said last week, told you guys there's not a player that ever wore the Steeler uniform that I love more than Antonio Brown, but he would have played his last game in the Steeler uniform.
Well, that's a non-event. That's your opinion.
But,
I appreciate it.
But what I'm saying is, do you guys think that the Steelers will re-sign him?
Yes.
Oh, they're working on it as we speak.
Really?
Yes, I think that they will re-sign Antonio Brown. I think Le'Veon Bell will get the franchise tag. And I believe that Ben will be back next year. Now, you know what? I've been wrong before, but that is what I feel
we
today,
know. Speaking
January
about
24th.
Crosby. Speaking about Crosby.
Speaking about Crosby.
I would trade Antonio Brown straight up for
Well,
Hogan,
luckily, Smoking Jim, you still live in the past.
Yeah, well, you'd tell them to sign Terrell Pryor, too.
Yeah. You live in the past with this Cowher stuff, Cowher, and the chin will win.
162
but
wins.
You know what? To turn this negative into a positive,
15 years.
If you look at the prospects for this Steeler team, provided Ben comes back next year, going into 2017, the Steelers team will be better on a lot of different levels. Eli Rogers as their third receiver, Martavius Bryant coming back and performing at the level that he did before, or maybe even better as the number 2 with Antonio Brown. You know, one of the biggest problems they had Sunday night, and for as well as the Patriots played, you know, had it not been for 6 or 7 dropped passes, could have been a very different ball game. You know, you had one wide receiver ran out of the back of the end zone, ran back into the end zone, and catches a touchdown pass. And, you know, and that's a rookie mistake. That's something that you should know better not to do. Not put yourself in that position. So there was a lot of mistakes, a lot of drop balls, and you know, had those catches been made, who knows? You know, we may have been talking about a different game.
How about bad luck? James made a great catch, goes down. and his head hits the goal line, and that's it. We're 1 foot away from it.
Hey,
Replay showed it wasn't a touchdown.
That
proved to be a nightmare with the play calling.
You look at it. The receivers made mistakes. The offensive line didn't block, didn't open any holes down at the end zone. Come on, you're telling me the 5 healthy offensive linemen that have been there all year can't get you 1 yard running behind them? I mean, whatever it would be, but they still needed to block the guys on the line, which didn't happen because both times the back got tackled for losses. So that means that the defensive line won the line of scrimmage.
No, it's obvious. We can point all these things out. Smoking Jim would call it excuses, except when he's using these type of things. So I understand that. They're just excuses, like he's talking about his people back
let's
then.
kind of wrap us all up with, so the preview Super Bowl. We've got Tom Brady going for number 5. Going up against the best offense in football. Now, can you believe, for all the hype that we heard early in the year and in the preseason about how the Steelers were going to have the greatest offense in NFL history and the best offense in the NFL this year was the Atlanta Falcons, who averaged almost 35 points a game over a 16-game season.
Say that again.
They destroyed the Seattle Seahawks. They annihilated the Green Bay Packers. You look at that Falcons team. They can put up points against anybody, and they have against the best. Seahawks defense is as good as anybody's, and they made them look bad.
Matty Ice, he's one of those quarterbacks that goes under the radar, doesn't get the respect that any other quarterback gets. He puts up some big numbers, and he's there each week.
I already put money on New England.
Of course you did.
Why wouldn't you?
Well, he's got to make up for the 9 games he lost in a row against the Steelers.
Well, he did pick up something at the Sunday's game.
Yeah.
He had to bet New England because he was crying.
Still way down. Still way down.
If I may, we spoke before about Pitt, and we haven't mentioned really anything about the Pitt basketball team because the team is mediocre at best, and they are playing the Louisville Cardinals tonight at the Peterson Event Center, a game which I think they'll get thoroughly thrashed. The Pitt basketball team just doesn't seem to have it together. I do not see them making the NCAA tournament, and I don't even see them making the NIT tournament. CBI, here we come.
Jamie Dixon got out at the right time. I'll make that statement. We got an update on the Penguin game. Penguins are down 1-0.
That's nothing for them.
And Penguins would be playing tonight the St. Louis Blues.
Yes.
And the St. Louis Blues entered the NHL at the same time.
We're going to have a segment at the end on the Penguins. I just was tossing
just an update on the Pitt game. Louisville's beating them 45-15 in the first half.
45-15.
Well, that's not bad.
45-15.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to a commercial here, and we'll take it away, come back in a couple minutes, and you'll see us again for some more sports talk. Thank you very much for watching the show. Welcome back again. I'm starting to learn the system here with the graphics we have, and I saw Penguin graphics. I mentioned that they're losing 1-0. Don't switch that dial yet. We got another 8 minutes of this TV show. Appreciate Tessa on the camera there, fine-tuning it, getting a nice close-up of us here, looking clear. Thank you very much. Devin's in the control room, and I don't know what Ethan's doing there, but I know he's here. All right, let's talk some Penguins here.
End of the first period, St. Louis is up 1-0.
Definitely. They've been on a streak. They won 4 in a row. They were averaging 6 goals a game. Connor Sheary was the #1 star player of the week in the NHL. What a find he has been since last year, playing on the Crosby line with Rust. They're just scoring goals like crazy. They get that puck in the corner.
And and the Penguins have just been chugging along. And, nothing to get overly excited about right now. It looks like because more than half the teams make the playoffs in the NHL. So the Penguins
knows about that.
The Penguins will make it into the playoffs, and right now they're the odds-on favorite to win the cup.
That'd be nice. That'd be back-to-back.
But let's not forget
They did it back
about
in 92, 93. They did that back-to-back
when you talk to people about their Stanley Cup run last spring, and a lot of people said that the most impressive series that they played was not against the Sharks to win the cup, but was by beating the Washington Capitals. And the Capitals are playing very well again this year. Number one in the Penguins division.
Yes.
And they're going to be a handful when we get to them in the playoffs, whichever round it may be.
But one good thing, Ovechkin has that bad luck in the playoffs. He doesn't win.
No,
and they got a great team from top to bottom, goaltender all the way up. Great players, great scorers, great defense, great offense. Well, they just can't close it out in the playoffs.
No, here's what the Penguins need to do: is the Penguins need to get healthy. They need to stay healthy. Chris Letang's been out for a number of games.
Week to week.
He's getting closer to being ready to play again. But get everybody healthy, get them ready for the playoffs. I still do not think. I still think that the Penguins will be making some type of a trade as we move into February, March. They've got to do something to bolster their defensive core. It's been a little weak. There's been a lot of injuries. Only Mata hasn't been playing up to expectations, and
he's been a little disappointing.
He has been a disappointment, and what's the other kid who can't seem to make it onto the team, and he spends more
defense.
He spends more time in Wilkes-Barre. Not Dumoulin.
It'll come back.
Yeah, it'll come to me.
Hopefully within 5 minutes, since the show will be over in 5.
And if not, we'll move on to the next subject, right?
Yeah, we'll just keep talking.
So, Jim, what do you think about? This is on a different subject. 30th pick in the draft this year. What do you think the Steelers should go after?
Well, Angelo Dundee used to always say, "You never hook with a hooker." Being that if a boxer,
what does that mean?
If a boxer has a great left hook, you never throw a left hook against him because his will get there quicker. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers need to go after Malik Hooker, true free safety out of Ohio State. This is a guy that played at Newcastle. Will he be available? I think that he will be available possibly, being that he's coming out after a sophomore year. He's an All-American. He's a ball hawk. He's a freak. Mike Mitchell is no free safety. Bites on every play-action fake. We have a bunch of strong safeties. This will be a true free safety, a guy that can sit back in center field and get you 8, 9, 10, 12 interceptions every year and bring a couple of them back to the house. Malik Hooker would be my pick. 6'2", 220 pounds, can jump out of the gym, a true freak out of Ohio State, Newcastle.
All right, I'll make sure that I read up on him because I do my homework.
Yeah, I know that's right.
Because I like to find those gems that Jim always finds.
Never hook with a hooker.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard you say that during our boxing matches. As a matter of fact, we'll be announcing boxing at the Brownson House in Washington, PA, with Skeets Lewandowski and his boxers there, February 4th, 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Can't wait.
We'll be filming there doing boxing. Smoking Jim's great on the play-by-play. I add some color there. I'm the color guy. So we had some fun there every time. And we were there last, I think, May it was. It was so long ago. So almost a year.
Derek Pouliot.
There you go. He got the Penguin player.
Yeah, Derek Pouliot, who has been a huge disappointment. All the talent in the world. Can't seem to crack the starting lineup.
Can't stay on the ice.
Can't crack the starting lineup. They need defensive help.
He was on the tip of my tongue.
Hopefully we'll get that. But it's amazing with the scoring burst that they have. That second period, man, I can't wait to get home and watch some Penguin hockey.
Yeah, and here's the thing that frightens me about the scoring burst is when you become too dependent on that, you know what wins in April and May. And his defense. It's the same way it is in football. You can have all the offense you want, play fire wagon hockey, and in the regular season, in the playoffs, things tighten up.
We're going to change it this year.
You got to play defense.
Penguins will keep on scoring. Those 4, 5, 6 goal onslaughts are amazing. I just enjoy it. It's nice seeing all that puck play. And they're
Say
playing
that 3 times real fast.
Puck play, puck play, puck play. I think I did. We have a little bit of fun. Hope you enjoyed the show. We have a new format with the segments and the commercials. You get a couple-minute commercials now. We get to talk and settle down a little bit in between sets here, so we have a little more fun with it. And it's just something we're providing with the software that Bethel Park provides our studio. We appreciate that and helping us out here, from the lighting to the desks, you name it, to cameras. We've got software with the programs here. It's perfect. So we're having some fun doing it. We appreciate doing the show. If you ever want to give us a call, I'll give you my cell phone number. You can call me at 412-973-9611. I'll answer it, and since I'm mic'd up, we'll put you right up on there, and you can talk out loud, and we can answer a question or two. Now, when I'm at Shop and Save waiting in the meat department, a couple of them go, "Hey, I watch that show all the time." I go, "Why don't you give us a call? You guys are too smart. Between you, Chip, and Smoking Jim, they want to know who that black guy is there with us." And I said, "You mean the guy that brings up race all the time?" And they said, "Yes, sir." I said, "That's Smoking Jim Frazier. He doesn't miss a trick."
And don't let me forget to bring up race. Daytona 500 coming in February.
There you go.
I like that.
Bring that race up.
I like that.
No doubt about it. You get full coverage on that sport. Definitely. A lot of great action there. We're starting to close down, like 33 seconds to go. I want to thank everybody for watching our show. We appreciate the publicity and noticing us out there. Chip hears about it all the time. Smoking Jim, people are beeping and saying hi when he's getting his pen in Bethel Park. We don't know where, but he buys a pen in Bethel. So hopefully that brings you good luck at the game and you win. The Super Bowl, we'll be talking about that the next 2 weeks, so can't give you a pick. We're just about out of time. I can see that, and I want to say to everybody, please stay Joey strong.